is one of the most compelling actresses in America today, Miss Agnes Moorehead. Miss Moorehead returns to our stage to appear in a new study in terror by Lucille Fletcher called Sorry, Wrong Number. This story of a woman who accidentally overheard a conversation with death and who strove frantically to prevent murder from claiming an innocent victim is our star tonight is one of the most
Oh dear.
Your call, please.
Operator, I've been dialing Maury Hill 40098 now for the last 3/4 of an hour. And the line is always busy, but I don't see how it's called be busy that long. Will you try it for me, please?
Murray Hill, 40098. One moment, please.
I don't see how it could be busy all the time. It's my husband's office. He's working late tonight, and I'm all alone here in the house. My health is very poor, and I've been feeling so nervous all day.
Ringing Murray Hill, 40098.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Leonard,
Yes, sir.
Hello? Who's this? What number I'm calling, please?
we have heard from our client. He says the coast is clear for tonight.
Yes, sir.
Where are you now?
The phone booth.
You know the address? Okay.
11 o'clock, the private patrolman goes around to the bar on 2nd.
Avenue for a beer.
Be sure that all lights downstairs are out. There should be one light visible from the street. There should be at 11:15 the subway train crosses the bridge. Makes a noise case her windows is open and she should scream.
Oh, hello. What number is this, please?
Okay, I understand. Make it quick. As little blood as possible.
A knife, okay, sir.
Our client does not wish to make her suffer long. Yes, a knife will be okay. Remember, remove the rings and bracelet. Securely in the bureau drawer. Our client wishes it looks like simple robbery.
Okay, I get.
Oh, how awful. How unspeakably.
Your call, please.
Operator, I've just been cut off.
I'm sorry, madam. What number were you calling?
Why, it was supposed to be Maury Hill 40098, but it wasn't. Some wires must have crossed. I was cut in the wrong number, and I just heard the most dreadful thing. A murder, and operator, you simply have to retrace that call at once.
I beg your pardon, madam. I didn't quite.
Oh, I know it was wrong number, and I had no business listening. But these two men, they are cold-blooded fiends, some poor innocent women who was all alone in a house near a bridge, and we got to stop them. We've got to.
What number were you calling, madam?
That doesn't matter. This was a wrong number. And you dialed it. And we got to find out what is immediately.
But, madam,
Oh, why are you so stupid? Look, it was obviously case of someone little slip of the finger. I told you to try Maury Hill 40098 for me. You dialed it, but your finger must have slipped,
but your finger must have slipped.
and I was connected with some another number, and I could hear them, but they could not hear me. Now I simply feel to say why you could not make that same mistake again. On purpose, why could not try to dial Maury Hill 40098 in the same careless sort of way?
Murray Hill 40098. I will try to get it for you, madam.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Murray Hill 40098 is busy.
Operator,
Yes, madam.
you didn't try to get the wrong number at all. I asked explicitly, and all you did was dial correctly.
I am sorry. What number were you calling?
Can't you for once forget what number I was calling and do something specific? Now I want to trace that call. It's my civic duty. It's your civic duty to trace that call and to apprehend those dangerous killer if you want.
I will connect you with the chief operator.
Please.
This is the chief operator.
Chief, I want you to trace a call. A telephone call. Immediately, I don't know where it came from, who was making it, but it's absolutely necessary that it be tracked down. Because it was about murder. Yes, a terrible cold-blooded murder of a poor innocent woman tonight at 11:15.
I see.
Can you trace it for me? Can you track down those men?
It depends, madam.
Depends on what?
It depends on whether the call is still going on. If it's a live call, we can trace into the equipment. If it's been disconnected, we can't.
Disconnected?
If the parties stop talking to each other.
Oh, but of course they must have stopped talking to each other by now. That was at least 5 minutes ago, and they didn't sound like the type who would make a long call.
Well, I can try tracing it. Now, what is your name, madam?
Mrs. Stevenson, Mrs. Albert Steven, listen.
And your telephone number?
Plaza 42295. But if you go on wasting all this time,
And what is your reason for wanting this call trace?
my reason, well, for heaven's sake, isn't it obvious? I overheard two men there planning to murder these women. It's a matter for the police.
Have you told the police?
No, I.
You're making this check into private call purely as a private individual.
Yes, but meanwhile,
Well, Mr. Stevenson, I seriously whether we could make this check for you at this time just on your say. So as the private individual, we have to have something more official.
Oh, for heaven's sake, you mean to tell me I can't report a murder without getting tied up in all the red tape? Why? It's perfectly idiotic. Alright, then I will call the police. Ridiculous.
Your call, please. Ringing the police department.
Police Department, Precinct 43, Duffy speaking.
Police department? Oh, this is Mrs. Stevenson, Mrs. Albert Smith Stevenson of 53 North Sutton Place. I'm calling to report a murder.
I mean, the murder has been commuted yet. I just overhead transferred it over the telephone, over wrong number that the operator gave me. I've been trying to trace down the call myself, but everybody is stupid. And I guess in the end, you're the only people who could do anything.
Yes, ma'am.
It was a perfectly different murder. I heard this plan distinctly. Two men were talking and we're going to murder some women at 11:15 tonight. She lived in a house near bridge.
Yes, ma'am.
And there was a private patrolman on the street. He was going to ground for a beer on 2nd Avenue. And there was to have third man, a client who was paying to have this poor woman murdered. They were going to take her rings and bracelet. He used knife, will eat. Annoyed me dreadfully, and I'm not well.
I see. When was all this, ma'am?
About 8 minutes ago. Oh, then you can do something. You do understand.
And what is your name, ma'am?
Mrs. Stevenson, Mr. Albert Stevenson.
And your address?
53 North Sutton Place, that near a bridge and the Queenborough Bridge, you know? And we have private patrolman on your street and 2nd Avenue.
And what was that number you were calling?
Maury Hill 40098, but that wasn't the number of overhead. I mean, Maury Hill 40098 is my husband's office. He's working late tonight, and I was trying to reach him to ask him to come home. I'm invalid, you know, and it's the midnight off, and I hate to be alone, even though he say and freak. I'm perfectly safe long as I have the telephone right beside my bed.
Well, look into it, Mr. Stevenson, and see we can check it the telephone company.
But the telephone company said they could not check the call if the parties had stopped talking. I've been taking care of that.
Oh, yes.
Personally, I feel you ought to do something far more immediate and drastic than you just check the call. What good do those checking the call do if they stopped talking? By the time you track them down, they'll already have committed the murder.
Well, we'll take care of it, lady. Don't worry.
I say the whole thing called for a search, a complete and thorough search of the whole city. I'm very near a bridge, and I'm not far from 2nd Avenue, and I know I'd feel a lot better if you sent a radio car to this neighborhood at once.
And what makes you think the murder going to be committed in your neighborhood, ma'am?
Oh, I don't know. This coincidence is so horrible. 2nd Avenue, the patrolman, the bridge.
2nd Avenue is a long street, ma'am. And do you happen to know how many bridges there are in the city of New York alone? Not to mention Brooklyn, State Island, Queens, and the Bronx. And how do you know there isn't some little house out on State Island on some little 2nd Avenue you never heard about? How do you know they were even talking about New York at all?
But I heard the call the New York dialing system.
How do you know it wasn't a long distance call you ever had? Telephones are funny things. Look, lady, why don't you look it this way? Supposing you are broken in on the telephone call. Supposing you got your husband the way you always do. Would this murder have made any difference to you then?
I suppose not, but it's so inhuman, so cold-blooded.
A lot of murders are committed in this city every day, ma'am. If we could do something to stop we would. But a clue of this kind that's so vague isn't much more use to us than no clue at all.
But surely,
Unless, of course, you have some reason for thinking this call is phony and that someone may be planning to murder you.
me? Oh no, I hardly think so. I mean, why should anybody? I'm alone all day and night. I see nobody except my maid, Alice. She's a big 200-pounder. She's too lazy to bring up my breakfast tree. And the lady under person, my husband Albert. He's crazy about me, adores me, waits on me hand and foot. He's scarcely left my side since I took sick 12 years ago.
Well, then there's nothing for you to worry about, is there? And now, if you just leave the rest to us.
But what will you do? It's so late. It's nearly 11 o'clock.
We'll take care of it, lady.
Will you broadcast? It's all over the city. And send out squad? And warn your radio cars to watch out, especially in the suspicious neighborhoods like mine?
Lady, I said we take care of it. Just now I've got couple of matters here on my desk that require my immediate.
Oh, idiot! Now why did I do that? Now he'll think I am Paul. Oh, why doesn't Albert come home? Why doesn't he?
Your call, please.
Operator, for heaven's sake, will you ring the Maury Hill 40098 again? I can't take what keeping him so long.
Ringing Murray Hill 40098. The line is busy. Shall I?
I hear it. You don't have to tell me. I know it's busy. If I could only get off this bed of little while, if I could get a breath of fresh air, or just lean on the window and see the street. Hello? Albert? Hello? 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 Oh, what's the matter with this phone? Hello? 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 Oh, for heaven's sake, who is this? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Your call, please.
Hello? Operator, I don't know what the matter with this telephone tonight, but it's positively driving me crazy. I never seen such inefficient, miserable service now. Look, I'm invalid and I'm very nervous and I'm not supposed to be annoyed, but if this keeps on much longer.
What seemed to be the trouble, madam?
Well, everything's wrong. The whole world could be murdered. Well, everything's wrong. The whole world could be murdered. For all your people care. And now, my phone keeps ringing.
Yes, madam.
Ringing and ringing and ringing every 5 seconds or so. And we have picked it up. There's no one there.
I'm sorry, madam. If you will hang up, I will test it for you.
I don't want you to test it for me. I want you to put through the call, whatever it is, at once.
I am afraid that is not possible, madam.
Not possible? And why? What? May I ask?
The system is automatic, madam. If someone is trying to dial your number, there is no way to check whether the call is coming through the system or not unless the person who is trying to reach you complains to his particular operator.
Well, of all the stupid, complicated, and the meanwhile, I got the setter in my bed, suffering every time that phone rings, imagining everything.
I will try to check it for you, madam.
Check it! Check it! That's all anybody can do, of all the stupid, idiotic. Oh, what's that use? Mrs. Stevenson? Phone rings again. She picks up the receiver widely. Hello? Hello? Stop ringing, do you hear me? Answer me. What do you want? Do you realize you're driving me crazy? Start staring.
Hello? Is this Plaza 42295?
Yes! Yes! This is Plaza 42295.
This is Western Union. I have a telegram here for Mr. Albert Stevenson. Is there anyone there to receive the message?
I am Mrs. Stevenson.
The telegram is as follows. Mr. Albert Stevenson, 53 North Sutton Place, New York, darling. Terribly sorry. Tried to get you for last hour, but line busy. Leaving for Boston 11 p.m. Tonight on urgent business. Back tomorrow afternoon. Keep happy. Love, signed Albert.
Oh no!
That is all, madam. Do you wish us to deliver a copy of the message?
No! No, thank you!
Thank you, madam. Good night.
Good night! No! It isn't true. He could do it. Not when he knows he'd be all alone. It's some trick, some fandish.
Your call, please.
Operator, try the Murray Hill 4098 number for me just one more, please.
Ringing Murray Hill 40098. We hear ringing at the other end. Ringing after ring.
He's gone. Oh, Albert, how could you? How could you? But I can't be alone tonight. I can't. If I am alone one more second, I don't care what they say or what the expense is. I am sick, women. I'm entitled.
This information.
I want the telephone number of Hensley Hospital.
Hensley Hospital? Do you have the address, madam?
No, it's somewhere in the 70s. Though, it's a very small, private and exclusive hospital where I had my appendix out 2 years ago. Hensley.
One moment, please.
Please hurry, and please, what is the time?
I do not know, madam. You may find out the time by dialing Meridian 71212.
Oh, for heaven's sake, kidnap you?
The number of Hensley Hospital is Butterfield 70101. 70105, madam.
Butterfield, 70105.
Hensley Hospital, good evening.
Nurses Registry.
Who was it you wish to speak to, please?
I want the nurses registry at once. I want a trained nurse. I want to hire her immediately for the night.
I see. And what is the nature of the case, madam?
Nerves. I'm very nervous. I need soothing and companionship. My husband is away and I am. Have you been recommended to us by any doctor in particular, madam? No, but I really don't see why all this catechizing is necessary. I want a trained nurse. I was a patient in your hospital 2 years ago, and after all, I do
We quite understand that, madam, but registered
But registered nurses are very scared just now, and our superintendent has asked us to send people out only on cases where the physician is charged feels it out absolutely necessary.
Well, it is absolutely necessary. I'm sick women, and I am very upset. I'm alone in this house and I'm invalid, and tonight I overheard a telephone conversation that upset me dreadfully. About a murder, a poor woman who was going to be murdered. At 11:15 tonight, in fact, if someone does come at once, I'm afraid I'll go out of mind.
I see. Well, I'm speak to Miss Phillips as soon as she come in. And what your name, madam?
Miss Phillips, and when do you expect her in?
I really don't know, madam. She went out to supper at 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock? That is not 11 yet. Oh, my clock has stopped. I thought it was running down. What time is it? Just 14 minutes past 11. I'm scared. What's that? What was what, madam? That click just now in my own telephone, as though someone had lifted the receiver off the hook of the extension phone downstairs. I didn't hear it, madam, know about this, but I did. There's someone in the house, someone downstairs in the kitchen, and they're listening to me now. They're hung up the phone. I won't pick it up. I won't let them hear me. I'll be quiet and they'll think. But if I don't call someone now, while they're still down there, there'll be no time.
Your call, please.
Operator, I'm in desperate trouble.
I cannot hear you, madam. Please speak louder.
I don't dare. I dare someone listening. Can you hear me now?
Your call, please. What number are you calling, madam?
You've got to hear me. Oh, please. You've got to help me. There's someone in this house, someone who's going to murder me. And you've got to get in touch with the... Oh, there it is. He's put it down the extension. He's coming. He's coming. Up the stairs. Give me the police department. The police.
Ringing the police department.
Police Department, Precinct 43. Sorry, wrong number.
And so closes Sorry, Wrong Number, starring Agnes Moorehead. Tonight's tale of suspense. This is your narrator, the man in black, who conveys to you Columbia's invitation to spend this half hour